Welcome to podcast number 16. We have a great guest today, an OG who's been in the Scratch game since the 90s and is always updating and keeping on the cutting edge with his scratching and his music. Today we sit down with Kypski and discuss everything from his video game to his music and Syntablism. I noticed Kypski was doing a lot of different things with his scratching and his music when I first came across him. I remember just stumbling across the game that he made with D-Styles called Rec Fader, and then finding the album from that, and being amazed at the kind of imaginative approach to the scratching music. Around the same time, I think I just started seeing a lot of his routines being posted everywhere, and I just became an instant fan. I'll start the podcast off with a video of a live performance of the title track from his album Rec Fader, which comes with a free download of the game, and also his playground map, which is playing in the background of this intro right now. That's the sound you hear, and if you're watching, that's the video from that. So in the performance, he's using a Native Instruments machine to finger drum, and he's scratching on my much dreamt of Festex Controller 1 with a mixer. I think it kind of highlights his innovative style, and you can kind of see there how this has progressed him into embracing Syntablism. This was kind of a stepping stone in his style. You can support him by ordering the album or purchasing any of his music on his Bandcamp. I think his record will be available soon at local retailers. He's working on that. But you can definitely just order it online. And you can also try his Playground map, which is free this week that this podcast has come out. And if you missed the free trial, then you can always get it from buying the album, or you could just subscribe and unlock it in the Playground app. Support Kypski, buy his music, like him, follow him, download the free Playground app, support the podcast. I think that's it. Let's get to it. This is a dope one. Enjoy, guys. So, I'm here with Kypski. welcome. And yeah, as I said, it's typically I just try to find out like how people got into stuff and where they started from. So I guess I don't know with you, like where do you think it all started with your? I guess maybe even music. I don't know because it seems like you play instruments.
Yeah.
I know you had the band and stuff, but like how did you get into music, or how did that start for you? How old were you?
Well, if I go way back, then it started when I was 8 years old.
Uh-huh.
That's when my parents discovered that I really had fun banging on garbage cans.
Yeah.
And while we were at that time we were living for a short time in the States.
Uh-huh.
And in the States you have these big garbage cans.
Yeah, those massive. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was banging on those garbage cans, and so my mom was like, maybe we should put him on some drumming lessons.
Nice.
And I really wanted to be a professional drummer. So that's what my goal was then. So I got actual drumming lessons, and till I was like 16 or 17. But at that time I'd already discovered hip hop,
right,
and scratching. So I was scratching and going still to the drumming lessons. But the scratching became the focus became more on scratching and less on the drumming. So I decided when I was 18 or 19, I decided to quit the drumming lessons and to focus on beat making and scratching, and also the battling.
Battling aspect. Right.
Because that was...
What year would that have been when you were 18? How old are you? I'm not sure how old you are.
I think that was like 97.
Okay. And how long did you live in the States for? Or when did you move back to
it was a really short time. We didn't really live there. Because my parents are scientists, and they had to give lectures, and my dad had to give mathematical lectures in Palo Alto.
Okay.
So I was, we were there. So first it was Berkeley, and later it was Palo Alto. And when I was really young, I was in Berkeley. I was
that's like
banging the cans.
Late 80s, early 90s or something like that, right? Yeah. Okay, I see.
So that's how it all. And I did. I had to go to do a study, like a college. So I went to the Music Technology Arts College in Hilversum in Utrecht, near Utrecht.
Yeah.
And I started a band, Simon and Kypski.
Right.
With my homie.
That's like early
Simon.
2000, right? Or 2000 itself, or
I'm going pretty fast into.
No, yeah.
Because
but
it's quite a long story.
Just a question. I'll get back to the scratching part. So then, what about the scratching? Like, was there other? Because I imagine Ulrich. There's not. Do I say that right? Ulrich. I've only read it. The name of your hometown.
Utrecht. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So like, there probably wasn't that many people scratching. I imagine Utrecht, or was there?
There was a hip hop scene, and I was really active together with Simon.
Okay.
Simon.
Yeah, Simon.
Come on.
Yeah.
We were really busy. We had like a hip hop group, 3 seasons with a rapper, and we were creating the beats, producing it with cassette decks, and we had a computer, but the computer could only play one loop.
Yeah.
Couldn't really layer loops in a computer. Yeah. So like a long time ago. So we just kind of manually synced all the beats and made layers of sound. And we were in the Utrecht hip hop scene. But the scratching for me, it really started with listening to Public Enemy and seeing a documentary on Dutch television about a DMC champ, Orlando Valpoort, from a group called Scorpio. And later on, he's a friend of mine. I know him right now, but then it was like I saw him on TV, and he was doing all these backspin things and body tricks.
Right.
And that really even triggered me further, next to listening to Terminator X.
Yeah.
And or Johnny Juice, Rosado, the real scratcher from Public Enemy, who I also now know personally a little bit. So cool. I was like, oh, you're Johnny Juice from you're Terminator X, right? Yeah. So, at that time I was really, that was like the holy grail. So, like sampling and scratching. So, I just went to practice for the battles. Like the battles were not only DMC or ITF, but there's one in Amsterdam in Paradiso called Turntablised. And that was probably the most fun battle to do, because it was in Paradiso, in like the one of the biggest stages of Amsterdam.
Yeah.
The biggest crowds. And I won like 4 of them, I think. So after the fourth time, they kind of told me not to compete again because it was getting a little bit boring. But afterwards, the whole battle thing died down after those years.
What years was that, so, you think? What time was that? What years was that?
2001, 2002. Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of...
And after that, it was like, for the battling in Holland was just...
Yeah, it seems similar in a lot of places around Europe, like that.
Yeah, it's like
2003, 2004, it kind of dropped off a bit. A lot of people stopped.
So that's how things go. You know, there's new generations of listeners, and
plus you're busy with the band as well.
Yeah,
right? Because you guys got pretty popular for a bit there. It seemed like, right? Like you guys were pretty,
we went all the way. So we at one point we did all the major festivals like Pink Pop and Lowlands in Holland, and then we did US tours, and we were in San Diego, and then like all over the place.
Yeah, I saw that Esquire quote when I was looking up stuff about your band. It was like an Esquire magazine had a quote. It was like, "These guys are the hot shit in Europe." Right now.
Yeah. That's like our management. Our management used this quote extensively. The hot shit in Europe. Right now. So that's like marketing,
right? Of course,
management marketing stuff. But we had like a management working almost full time for us. And we released a lot of music, like 4 albums and 3 compilation albums. And I did some scratch, like the Masturbation Tool and the Clocktave record in between. And we kept on touring. And at one point, it was kind of, we were at a new starting point. So we were like, okay, what are we going to make another record? So we were looking.
Yeah, like what do we do now?
And I was like, well, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I need to do some other stuff.
Yeah.
So I was kind of the guy who ended it in a way. I feel like it's because I think the other guys really were happy to continue on.
Right.
But I was just kind of like the bucket was empty for me. I was like, I don't know what the hell we're going to do right now. With all this music, I'm really proud of all these albums, and the tours are really great, and I love you guys, but you know. Maybe this was in 2010.
Right. Okay.
So it was quite hard actually to say this and to. It was quite. It's almost like a breakup with your wife.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Married, and then we have to split up, something like that. So
that's hectic.
It was a hard talk, but after that. The rest of the guys, they did the same as me. Everybody has his own projects now.
Right.
Simon has his own studio and is producing and recording a lot of indie bands. And Yori he moved to Portugal, so he built a studio over there. So he's producing a lot of music over there.
Yeah.
And Daniel he's still somewhere in between Utrecht and Amsterdam.
Like
right in the middle.
And Gouda. I was so excited when I drove through there. I was like, Gouda's a real place. It's not just a good cheese. It's a real place. I love some aged Gouda. A good aged Gouda is the best cheese in my book.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't live in Gouda.
No. That's what I'm just thinking. Like, what's between there? It's kind of between there. Rotterdam, maybe. I don't know how the geography works so good.
So that's kind of in a nutshell. The story is actually longer, but this is like because I'm talking about so many years of
for sure,
producing music and writing music and touring and changing record labels and all that stuff. So we went all the way, and but I also felt there's a lot more to discover.
Of course.
What I did then. So, and right now I've discovered something else.
I wanted to
keeps on going.
I wanted to ask you about the Clocktave record actually, because I don't know much about it. Like I've heard about it, but I don't really know anything about it. Like, could you? I don't know.
The Clocktave record is actually the concept was by Sham. Now his artist name is Shamsuddin. It's his last name, and it's also his artist name. And he produces like electro kind of. Housey electro kind of tracks, and is playing live a lot and DJing as well. He's a good friend of mine, but he also used to scratch a lot, and he was like, "Hey, I've got this idea with about maybe like a scratch tool with musical notes and then placed in like a clock system. So 1 o'clock C, and 2 o'clock the D, and then like a major scale, minor scale, and switch up the scales, and then categorize everything by scale. And I was like, hey, that's a pretty good idea. So let's make it. Let's do it because I want to use it, and it sounds like something I would want to use. So I just want to produce that record. Actually, we should have. The plan was to do it to produce a record, the two of us, but I ended up doing the whole record, like recording and just the editing and stuff, which was fine. I had a lot of fun creating it. Sometimes I got a little bit like a stiff from editing. I got like a mouse.
Mouse hand.
Carpal tunnel syndrome.
Totally.
But I was really happy with the end result, and one of the first labels of the band Simon and Kypski released it. Super Tracks Records.
Mm-hmm.
And this was after the Masturbation Tool, which what was the first Wax Wankers group scratch tool, which got really good response from
it did.
And the Clocktave, it was sold out pretty quickly, and I think we were out of the label when I wanted to do another repress.
Oh yeah.
So the situation was.
Does that label still exist even? No, right?
No.
Because I remember hearing about it, and then it was like, oh, but it's impossible to find, and.
Yeah, well, it's actually got a re-release on the Thud Rumble from Qbert. Because I was talking to Qbert about several things, and also about the Clocktave, and he was let's release it digital. Digital was because of the digital wave in scratching and all the DVS stuff coming up. I was like, oh yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Just do a re-release in a digital format. So I think it's still available at the .rumble web shop. With cue points
set up for
everything. But I haven't checked. Maybe it's out.
I mean, this was ages ago, but I just remember when it came out. It was
vinyl, it
was kind of like a mythical tool that I never saw, but I'd heard about.
I'm using it on the new B-Styles album.
Nice.
Actually. But I would have liked to put out more of the Clocktave, but it just really didn't happen. Now I have like 4 or 5 sealed copies myself, and it's cling on to them.
For sure.
No, that's.
I've never actually. I don't think I've looked for it on Discogs, but I wonder if you can find it on there. How much it goes for.
What happened also was Ricky Rucker was promoting the Controller 1 turntable a year or 2 years after a lot, and I was like, when this turntable comes out, I don't think the Clocktave is not really relevant anymore, because if there's a turntable that can play notes and. But I still have people asking
for sure. I mean, nobody can get their hands on a Controller 1 either. So
I don't know what's more rare, the Clocktave record or the Controller 1. But of course now there's all these other ways of playing.
Button box from Bob and all that kind of stuff. I mean, from
button box or whatever MIDI turntables. So there's more ways to get there. To the melodic side. But Clocktave is it's one way to do it, and it has a certain sound to it. If you scratch a melody with a Clocktave, I think I could
you'll notice it right away. Like
Clocktave,
for sure. Yeah, nice. So then with the DMC stuff, I'm curious because between this 2010, you start battling in the local battles, as you mentioned, like early 2000s, 2003, but then the scene kind of comes a bit stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
What about the DMCs in Holland? Like, how did you get into that, or when did that start coming about for you?
Around 90, 98, 99.
Yeah.
So I think I won the Dutch DMC in 99. But DMC was always, it was also kind of it was a bit disconnected from like the hardcore scratching scene.
Right.
So, for example, it would be like all the way in the south of Holland in Landgraaf, which is a place nobody goes.
Yeah, that is an odd place to have. Why would it be there?
And DMC is because the guy who run it
lived there basically.
Lived there and was footballing in the local football team.
Yeah.
So it was also to us it was kind of funny to see the DMC. There's DMC.
Yeah, you would think like Rotterdam or Amsterdam.
So and then it was not in any of those cities.
Yeah.
It was always south in some pub in yeah, it was kind of.
How many people
farmy
were
place.
entering the battles at that time? You think was there a pretty solid group of people entering these, or the DMCs in Holland?
Yeah. I think actually the DMC had its best time in the 80s in Holland.
Yeah.
In the 90s, we always felt a bit like what I just said, kind of weird, disconnected. But in the 80s, I think it was really something. You know, like the DMC, like wow.
Yeah, prestigious, big.
Yeah. But you had like DJ Chainsaw and Hyped Hendrix from the Waxwankers. They were DMC people, and DCS was like a big DMC name in Holland. Oh, they really made name for themselves through the DMC.
Yeah.
And DJ Rocket, also a good friend of mine. So yeah, there were some
Yeah.
But it's like really small and
right.
It's not.
But then I guess winning, you get to go to Worlds, right? So that's got to be a bit of a rush.
Yeah, then I got to go to New York.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a bit of a disappointment because I had this massive pile of routines prepared. So I was really well prepared. That's what I thought. And so I did my first, my elimination round and went pretty well. And I was like, oh yeah, it's kind of, when I look at the video right now, it's like, oh wow, I couldn't even do that right now.
Yeah.
Crazy. But yeah, I was out. I didn't even reach some semi-final or final. So and I was like, and I had the same thing with ITF. I think around 2000 or 99, the ITF. Also, I did a good elimination round, and then I was out. And I had this big pile left. I was like, oh my god, come on, man! Been working so hard.
Yeah,
you're gonna eliminate me right now. So, but I don't know why that. Maybe because at that time I really wasn't really a showy guy. I was more like just performing performing the music really well. I'm not really focusing on the crowd or anything.
And not like making little smirky faces or pointing at people and all that shit. Yeah.
So maybe because of that,
not enough body tricks, man. Not enough body tricks.
Yeah.
Spin around enough times or whatever.
Not enough body tricks, So, but this stuff happens. I mean, that's also it's a learning experience. So yeah, it just happens. So at the time, it's like a bit of a letdown, like a disappointment. But afterwards, it was like, oh well. The most important thing for me is to make good music and to release, to do a good album release. You know,
right?
Like the competitions is more like sometimes I did maybe some of the turntableize battles. I even entered a little bit for the press coverage.
Right.
I was like, if I win this, then I get good press coverage,
easier bookings and all that. Right.
I must admit it. One point
for sure. I
was a little bit thinking like that, you know.
Yeah, well, that's smart. I mean, it does help for sure.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who've built their careers off becoming a DMC champion, and now they're producing and doing their whole thing, and it opened up that world of bookings and manager. And
but the turntableize battle was kind of battle that they also the first time turntableized they easily could have not made me the winner because somebody else was doing more body tricks and was really like a crowd rocking type of guy, and if they let him win, then maybe I even didn't do so much battling. But they were like they were like, okay, so the technicality and the musicality is important, so we let Kypski win.
Cool.
So I was really happy for the battle itself. It was kind of a statement, and maybe not every crowd member understood it.
Right.
So Kypski won. Why? You know?
But always that.
So I was really happy that the judges were focusing on those aspects. You know?
Yeah, I've really heard it's funny to talk to all these people about battles, especially guys who've won world things or national things. It's like the thing I hear over and over is like, when I thought I should have won, or I thought I've got this in the bag for sure, I've won it, then I don't win. And when I think, oh my god, I fucked up so bad, that's terrible, then I win. Everybody says this over and over and over. Or like, I worked for a whole year for this 2-minute thing, and then I got out in eliminations, and I was like, well, I'm done with that. I'm never gonna do that again. That was a massive waste. Or the opposite, like I won, but I felt like I shouldn't have won, and then I was embarrassed that I won. And like like I thought the other guy should have, and then people are mad at me that I don't even know that I won. And they're like, why are you mad at me? I just did what I was supposed to do, and it's not me. It goes both ways for sure.
You're right. You're definitely right. Yeah. So there's
the stress of it all as well. Yeah.
It's also like it's in the end it's more like a personal battle, It's like you have to ask yourself, why are you entering a battle in the first place?
Yeah.
What do you want to get out of it? Is it like, do you want recognition, or you want? I think that's a really important question.
Yeah, definitely. I've only entered like IDA scratch stuff and checked this. I got second a few years ago, and this year I was really like, I just want to beat the guy who wins every year. Trick table, shout out to him, but he won the last 3 or 4 years, and I was like, and he's good, and I was like, I just want to do better than him. So my whole focus was like, I gotta do better than his old videos, and I just didn't really feel like I got there at all. And then when I turned it in, I talked to him that night, and he's like, oh, I didn't enter this year. I haven't been scratching at all the last year. I was like, I just immediately was like, oh, like it felt so hollow now. And I was like, even if I did win, I won't feel like it's worth anything, because like the whole focus was like to beat him. I mean, he's a friend, but like to do as good as him. That was like my idea in my head. And then And then I was like deflated when I heard he didn't enter. I was like, oh my god, it's been like the last month I've been like just praying like him. I gotta beat him, like such a letdown. Just as it really was.
I can imagine.
Like the guy who sets the table, the local high bar is not entering. No. Whatever. Yeah, so you had six total DMC national wins. Is that right?
No, just one actually.
Oh, I thought
so. It was like DMC, Dutch DMC, ITF.
Oh, got it.
Four times.
So
like
national.
The turntableized Paradiso thing was 4 times.
Right, and then the DMC and the ITF.
Yeah, so that makes
6 total. Yeah, just got it wrong there.
And then got eliminated in New York, and but like a few months ago, somebody put the routine of the New York 1999 online on YouTube, and that's. I was looking. I'm really happy somebody recorded this and put it online, because it's pretty amazing actually. And I still don't really understand why didn't they let me go through. But whatever. That's just the past. I mean, new things. It's.
And I guess also at that time you're probably getting to connect with all these people too, right? Going to the New York DMC, you're probably meeting a lot of people who you probably have been listening to, or.
I met some people, not that much, not as much as I'm meeting right now here at the barbecue. I'm meeting a lot of people here. And at the DMCs that time there wasn't really a lot of time for socializing.
Busy.
It's really, and it's quite, because it's the DMC, it's quite stressy, so you have to kind of mentally prepare and be focused, and so it's a bit less about the socializing.
Yeah. So then, so the whole time you got the band going, 2010, so you're really busy with that, and at the same time you're still scratching. But it seems like you're doing a lot of stuff. It seems like you're really busy, like with the band, the touring, still putting out scratch records, doing scratching, and entering the battles in the beginning there. Like, seems like a really busy time. Yeah. And then school as well, because you were in university from what years? You said 90. Because you're going to school at the same time?
I graduated in 2001.
Okay, so like 97, 98 to
2000. And so the Simon and Kypski band was actually a school project, so I could school points for creating a live set for the band.
Yeah, because music and technology. So
So I finished the music technology thing, and also like the turntable was my instrument on the college.
Right.
The only thing was there was no teacher to teach me that. So all the teachers were like, okay, we can teach you a lot of stuff about jazz music and harmony and melodies and music theory, but the turntable thing is your thing. We're not judging you on that, which I think is great, because that's the only thing they could do actually. They just let me graduate with the turntable as an instrument instead of the drum kits.
Right. Yeah, that's really cool.
Even if it's not really busy, I keep myself busy by getting inspired and getting ideas for new music, and then I feel like I have to record another song. And even when it's not busy, it's...
Yeah, just started eating. Okay. But, okay, so then, and then how does it come to, like, I don't know, like, how did, I guess, I'm just thinking, after 2010, from my knowing you, it's, like, from around 2014 or so, I think I first started seeing your stuff. And, like, what was that time period? What was going on in, I don't know, what were you doing between that kind of 2010 to putting out the Kypski music, Rec Fader stuff? I don't know, what was that time period like? What were you up to then?
Yeah, well,
the touring stops.
Yeah, I really felt like making a proper solo album.
Yeah.
Which in the end became Rec Fader, and I wanted to have like some people participate on the album that I really look up to, like D Styles. And, Kayla Boss from EPMD. I met him by accident online. He was really a fan of my YouTube, some scratching videos. And I discovered, hey, you're from EPMD. And like, yeah, EPMD. And like, whoa! Join me on my album. So took him and some also Cara Emerald, which is a really quite famous pop singer here in the UK actually, and not that she's Dutch, but she's more famous here in the UK. So I asked her to sing a part on another track, and I really had the urge to express myself in that way, to have a real Kypski music album instead of a scratching like full blown songs, productions. And that became Rec Fader. And at the same time, my brother is a really good programmer, so he can build like VR environments, and he programs for big companies, making apps and games. So I was talking to my brother, like, hey, let's make a Rec Fader game, a music game for like link it to the album, and then So I got some funding, or managed to get some funding from the government for making the actual game.
Nice.
So that's what we did.
Okay.
That's how the game, the Rec Fader app, went. Still available at the Google Play Store. Not anymore in the App Store. Hopefully again in the App Store.
Oh yeah, because you probably need to update it to support the latest iOS version.
Yeah, and for the App Store you have to pay regular fees to keep it in there.
So they're dicks. They are dicks. But then, okay, so back to D, I guess. How did you even meet D or D Styles, or how did you get in contact with him, or how'd that come about?
Yeah,
you just wrote him, or?
Oh, it goes way back as well, just by being a really big fanboy.
Yeah, like everyone.
It's like me too. Like everybody. I mean, if I was just D Styles fanboy, so
yeah.
At that time, at one point, I don't know, I met with him in Amsterdam when sometimes he was playing Amsterdam with Shortcut. And then one way or another, we got to hook up, and sometimes we were with the Waxwankers. We were like, oh, D Styles is in town, and where's he staying? Yeah, in Amsterdam. Okay, let's go to the hotel room with turntables. And then we just went to his hotel room and put turntables over there, and mixers and speakers. And, so that, those kind of things. But he always sort of like kept responding and just following what I was doing. He's a really, really nice guy. And,
extremely nice guy.
At one point, I asked him to participate on the Rec Fader album. And we made it like a trade, so he's like, it's not about money, so I participate on the Rec Fader album, and maybe you want to participate on my album. And I was like,
of course.
Holy, sure.
How about if I do this, you do me a favor too? Yes, please. Yes.
So that's how that happened.
Nice.
But I'm still a big fanboy. I mean, he's one of the greatest. So it's an honor to participate. And to have him on my album. So
I think I actually came across. I can't remember if I saw it because of your album release or if I just saw it one day in the Play Store and was like, what the hell? D Styles and Kypski's game? And then I saw the Rec Fader album. I'm not sure. I remember though being like, what the hell? A game? And like downloading it right away and playing it like crazy. And I was like, I can't believe this. And I was like, how come no one else has told me about this? I think it had already been out for a little bit. And I was like, nobody seems to, I haven't heard about this. Like, this is so cool. Like, very cool game. Very cool concept. And definitely.
Yeah,
I'll put a link in the
working on getting it to more people.
yeah, super cool style though. Like, yeah, nice. So how long did you work on that album? You think how long did you put into that? Like, was it like
2 years? I think.
Yeah.
Off and on, not full time.
Yeah,
but
that actually reminds me of I wanted to ask Kypski, what's up with the name? Where'd the name come from?
Oh yeah, I get the question a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's from chicken. Because kip is chicken in Dutch.
Right, yeah, I remember that.
So at one point, I think I was 16 or 15, all my friends called me Kip as a nickname. So then I was like, oh yeah, then I'll change my DJ name to DJ Kip.
Okay.
And other friend of mine, he was joking a lot and he always greeted me with, hey, Kypski.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, that sounds pretty
Sounds
good.
cool.
So let's make it Kypski and switch up the letters to get the chicken out a little bit.
Yeah.
But the chicken came. The reason people were calling me chicken is because I did like singing, scratching, with, making chicken sounds.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't really looking to make chicken sounds, but I was singing all the famous Terminator X scratch songs,
right.
this with the
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So that's where the kip comes from.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, that's the story behind that.
Funny, that's really funny. Yeah, I remember when I first saw your stuff, like thinking like, oh, okay, this guy is trying something different. Like, it's music. It's not just like hardcore scratching. It's like really musical, and it's, I don't know, just the style of the music in general wasn't like your average scratch guy music. You know what I mean? It wasn't everybody. Especially, I think maybe at the time I heard you, I was like, oh, it doesn't sound like he's trying to be, thud rumble stuff, or you know what I mean? It was like very different than all the other guy stuff. So I really like noticed that. And then of course I saw you were doing like lots of interesting things with technology and trying little things, and then the Syntablism stuff started to come up with Luigi and yourself.
Yeah, that's the most recent development. Yeah.
So how did you hook up with Luigi, or did you guys know each other for a while?
No, I didn't know him at all.
Yeah.
But I was because I have a studio. My studio is in a group of artists and producers and musicians called Kytopia in Utrecht. I don't know if it's still called Kytopia actually, but it's more like now it's not in Utrecht anymore. It's in Den Dolder, so now it's Dollywood. So every time I do something in my studio, I tag it with Dollywood somewhere in the States. But it's like a group of artists and a lot of modular synthesizer freaks and artists and builders. And the guy who runs the whole thing is Colin Benders. Right now he's one of the biggest modular synthesizer artists in the world.
I've seen his name. I know his name. Yeah.
And for him that was a big game changer because he threw out his trumpet. He was a trumpet player. He's like, forget about the trumpet. I'm going to dive into the modular right now. But that really didn't make me go into modular synthesis. But what did make me go do it is the thing Luigi put on YouTube. So he put it I think it was 2016, and he had this video on YouTube that didn't have that many views. It wasn't really a spectacular video or anything, but he just explained okay, so this is a synthesizer, this is a turntable, this is a mixer, these are the building blocks, like a VCA, envelope generator, filter. If you want to make it blend together, you can make the crossfader, do the gate signals, and I was looking at the video, I was like, holy crap. And I'm looking at the comments and guys, are you even listening to what he's saying? This is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So at that point I'm like, okay, I'm going into the modular, I want to build a system like this right now.
Yeah.
Just really, and at that point I was doing live remixing with machine and finger drumming cue points and scratching him. I'm still quite happy with the videos I made with this setup.
Yeah.
But at that point I was thinking that's what I'm going to do for the next few years. But then I discovered this, and I was like, okay, I'll just quit doing the machine, the
finger drumming. So
I'm gonna quit doing that for a moment and just build this, because what convinced me was that you can just make sounds and scratch them at the same time instead of making a sound or getting a sample and using a sample making your own sample and then scratching it,
right?
Which was always the way to go.
Yeah,
I think for a lot of people that's the way to go.
Yeah, for sure.
But this is totally the opposite thing. It's really you can actually make new sounds through scratching your synthesizer and make the turntable blend in with the synthesizer instead of scratching over some synthy techno beat.
Right.
So it's really a fusion. It's not just it's really a fusion of two kind of niche musical scenes and worlds, and that really triggered me. So at Sample Music Festival, I keep on thanking Luigi for introducing me to this, and he's super nice guy, and
extremely nice. Yeah, I met him at the 2016 at Sample Music Festival. He came, and I don't think he did do a little performance that time. Yeah. And I met him at a scratch session, and then it was funny because I was waiting to scratch behind him, and me and him were switching off. When our turn came around, we'd switch off, and I was like, he would do something, and then I was like, oh, that was cool. I know how to do that too. And I kept doing it, and he was like, do you keep copying me every time I go? He's like, are you trying to battle me, like, jokingly? And I was like, yeah, I was kind of like feeling out, like, and I was like, just joking. And he was like, I noticed that. And then we became friends. Yeah, I started talking, but I'd just seen his video at that time, and I was like, that's so cool. And but it seems like a bit of a step to get into, in a sense of dealing with the gear and stuff.
Exactly. So I was kind of lucky to have, like what I previously
access
was saying. No, the study, the music technology. Like I've been through the whole thing. I got my master's degree, so I got like lessons in music synthesis and programming, Max MSP,
right,
granular synthesis, FM synthesis,
so you have a strong foundation already there.
Model synthesis. So this knowledge was already in my head. So when I saw Luigi's video, like my whole a big part of my technical background just kind of
fell into place.
It was like, this is like something I have to do. I just need to do this. There's no way back. And so that's a really good reason for me to go into modular synths, because if you just go into modular synths for fun, or you like buying weird noise making devices, it's really tricky because you get bankrupt very soon.
Yeah, you can just go forever.
There's a new device out every week, and it's even more addicting. And it's so addicting, you forget to press record on your studio. So it can get pretty intense.
And the setup you had at Sample Music Festival, I guess you're traveling it with you here too, the one you're going to use at the barbecue, same thing. What's that setup going on, or can you explain it a little bit? Or
right now it is kind of the I was looking for a portable way to and also to limit it, to make it a bit limited, so not to make it grow too fast, because I still have to learn a lot of stuff.
Right.
I don't really know every device by heart still, because you can do so many things with it. So I just try to keep it really minimalistic, and to have my drums and chords and my basses and leads and like everything in one box that I can take with me on a plane, and for example here in Brighton right now, to play here or wherever I can play. And it's a modular rack. It's like a portable flight case. With the power supplies, and up till now I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, it looks cool. I remember Luigi showing, like, I think in 2016 or 17, he did a talk about it, and he kind of said, like, here's the absolute minimum you need to get started, and then he priced everything out and had lists and everything, so people could get into it. I can remember there was some kind of all-in-one synth that worked. I don't remember what it was, but there was kind of one, like, or not synth, but like one all-in-one, where it had everything ready to go, where you could just kind of plug in and give it a go.
The Korg MS-20.
That's it,
It's like a semi-modular synthesizer, which already has a lot of features
that you need to get going.
To start. Well, it doesn't really matter how you can use like a semi-modular synth, but you can also just start from scratch by just put all the building blocks together. And so it's really a DIY thing. So there's nothing you can buy in the stores that's ready to go, like a Syntablism product. Buy this thing and then I can.
Kypski presents
the
Syntablism box from Gemini.
From Gemini. Working on it, by the way, with Luigi.
It's a great idea. To have like, here's the basic thing, here's a package, order from a niche shop or web shop or whatever. It'd be really cool.
I'm working on that.
That'd be very cool.
More news soon.
Nice.
But it still is. It's really you have to build your own system, and as you're building your own system, you're kind of creating your own sound.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
So that's really really fun thing, and yeah, it's all you're making your own sounds and you can do it without any sampling.
Yeah.
And you can just say, well, I made every sound myself. It's my stuff, my sounds. If you want to use it, pay me.
Yeah.
Instead of, oh, can I clear this sample because I used
right.
it?
Yeah. Exactly. There's no one like that.
Through with the whole sampling thing. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like, from my point of view too, because like I never learned any instrument. I never learned piano or drums or whatever, and I can make a basic beat, yes, but it seems like it kind of opens that up a little bit to people like me that scratch a lot. And then, like, I'm not a piano player. I don't know how to play chords and keys, but I could probably learn a bit of the synth setup and then experiment that through the turntable in a way that I probably would be a big stepping stone if I was just going to play keys. You know what I mean? It seems like that to me from an outsider perspective, but
yeah,
I'm not so sure. But yeah, it does seem like that. Like it.
Yeah, it's like a new interface of playing the synthesizer. And so, yeah, it's like putting a keyboard, attaching a keyboard to it, but instead it's a turntable. And,
Didn't you had a fretless fader, didn't you? Or did you have a version of it, or one of Bob's versions, or the actual fretless fader?
Bob made me one.
Yeah, I thought I remembered seeing that one.
A MIDI note fader, and also have a button box, Chris. But I ended up not really using both. Because I already had like this module, like
a strip kind of thing.
Dupe for micro keyboard, where I can play my melodies on. Which have just like the perfect knobs that I can just slide over and just like play. So I was like, okay, so that's solved.
That's the thing. I always wanted like that, and then when Chris put out the button box, I was like, ordered it like the first day. But I only had a PDX 2000, and I was like, it's okay. I'm gonna do Backtracks mod. He made the chip mod for 2000, so it's MIDI. But I had his early prototype one, and that one had an issue with the range, was like way different than the button box's setup. So I could use a MIDI keyboard fine, but the button box didn't work. But he's actually developed, like, finished, and he's got a final product of it coming out, the MIDI one for the Vestex. I think he's selling them now, or he's about to within a week. And so I'm all excited. I can finally use my button box I've had for 2 years. But actually, nice. I bought a PDX 3000 last week in Berlin. I finally nice bought stuff. It. So like we brought it back with Jimmy and all the guys. Went back to Prague, and I was like, oh, plug it in. And then I couldn't find my MIDI cable anywhere, and I just had it in my hand like an hour before, and we were like, where's that fucking cable? Looking all over the house, and we still didn't find it. And then we're leaving for here. We're like getting our bags packed. There's that MIDI cable. God damn it! So I thought I tried it. I get back on Monday. I'm gonna plug it right in and go. For it. I've got all those older. Remember the Vestex? They put out those records. There was like tone records they put out. I think it was called
the final software, like melody software.
Melody software, yeah. So I randomly found those on eBay last year for like $5 a piece, the whole series. Oh. Yeah, it's just like was there, and so me and a friend ordered all the copies they had.
Oh, nice. I would like.
I've actually got them now, so maybe I can. I wonder if there's a digital version out there. Maybe I'll record it then.
They're pretty rare, right?
Yeah, I would think so, because I've never seen it, and I've always heard of it, but I've never seen it. So.
Yeah, I just have one. I have like an orchestral with strings.
Yeah, I've got the orchestral, then there's a synth, and there's like fat bass or something like that. Another one. Yeah. I think there's 3 total. Yeah, but I should probably record those and put them out digitally.
Yeah,
so everybody can.
Hook me up.
yeah, definitely. I'll send them out. Make a file. Yeah, so the Syntablism, that's a new thing. Are you guys making some music with that? I mean, are you like recording anything with the goal of an album or anything like that, or just kind of going deep right now? Or?
So I already recorded a cover version of a song.
I've seen a few of
it. What's a Girl to Do is by a Dutch artist called Fatima Yamaha.
I didn't know that was a cover version.
Yeah, it's a cover song actually.
Okay.
And that's also like a snippet of that song I sent in for the Cut to Cut Awards. Yeah. And that's why I'm here right now.
Yeah. So we should talk about that.
It made me win the battle. So I recorded that and released it on my own label. So it's also on Spotify and all major platforms.
And the YouTube video I saw as well.
With the video. I would really like to do, and probably will do at the end of this year, is record like an EP, maybe 4 songs with this modular rack I'm playing right now, because I'm getting really great response on my Goldie Award submission. And I really feel like putting out an EP, it doesn't really has to be an album, but just a good EP with this, the way I'm playing right now, would kind of close it off for me personally. Like, okay, so this is like, I did this, it's out there, it's on the streaming platforms, people can listen to it, people can dance to it if they want to dance. And that will be like an end of a phase in my because it's also for me, it's a learning process. And
of course.
Then it would be really great to close it off with an EP, and then look for rearranging my system again because I want to make it all a bit more melodic and more like harmonic, and then I have to change my system, so I have to sell some modules, buy some new modules, get the newest crazy stuff, put it in there, and then make music with it, scratching, of course, and then make another EP. That's how it keeps.
The cycle
going.
Returns. Until some other new interesting technology to mess with comes out as well.
There's so many coming out in terms of Eurorack sound modules, and the fact that I can just basically scratch with almost every module is mind-boggling. So if there's something coming out with what makes really crazy wobbly bass stuff or really spaced out ambient stuff, then I just want to.
So you keep saying Eurorack. What's Eurorack? Because I don't actually know what that is.
Eurorack is like a format of
Eurorack, right.
The modules. So
right, no, I understand now. I thought you were saying something else actually a little bit with your accent. I thought you were saying something about rec. And I was like,
Eurorack,
like rec fader?
Eurorack.
Eurorack. Yeah, that's what I was kind of like, oh wait,
So if it wasn't called Syntablism, it might have been called Eurorack fader. But it's just a format for
right,
and it's a big market. It's also really the scenes are really similar. It's like the scratching scene and the modular synthesizer freaks scene. They're quite similar actually. It's like I played at Super Booth in Berlin, which is like the biggest modular festival right now for introducing new modules and for synthesizer enthusiasts, but the vibe is kind of the same. There's no people scratching on portables,
right?
But there's all these people putting wires in and out and making all kinds of sounds with the synthesizers, and they have similar kind of inside jokes,
right,
about making fart sounds with their devices and stuff. So this
girlfriend's not understanding. And all
girlfriend's leaving,
being annoyed at your gear purchases, and
there's a lot of similarities.
Don't you already have XXX? But you've already have 2 mixers. What do you need 4 for?
Exactly,
the classic.
So in a way, and a big DIY mentality.
For sure.
It's really similar. So maybe they will in the future merge. They will blend.
Sounds like it. What do you think you spent on your setup so far, on that portable setup? Money-wise, I'm just curious.
A lot.
What's a lot? I'm really curious.
4,000 or 5,000.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I figured like somewhere between 2 and 5. That's what I was guessing.
Something like that. But the fun thing is, if you don't need this one thing, like I don't need this thing anymore. You can.
The resale market is good.
Yeah, you can really easy sell it really quick.
Right.
To someone who really wants
that one and wants to try that one.
Yeah. So and then you have your money back and
move on to the newest. Weirdest sound.
Exactly. Nice. So it's a healthy market and. It's great fun. It's so much fun.
I played with Luigi's last year and a music messe. He had it set up for everybody and it was just so much fun. It was like I only played with it for like 5 minutes and I was like, just forgot the room was there. You know what I mean? I was just like zoned in on it and like when I do this I can hear and then
you're zoning in on the sounds themselves because you're creating the sounds with the devices. So if you're scratching with those devices, then it's like it's total. Like the first times I had kind of like a result from Syntablism, I was just on my own in my studio, just tripping. Like I just was using all kinds of drugs. I didn't use any drugs, but I was just the whole thing just blew me away. Am I doing this? This is so crazy. I really should do this more.
That's
how it goes.
It's it's definitely that feeling. Like I tried out. I have a friend who's a really accomplished violin player.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You want to try it? I'll give you a violin and I'll teach you some basic stuff." And I was like, "Yeah." Didn't really stick with it, but the feel of like when you've the bow across the strings and you actually have like a good note come out, it feels so good. It's crazy, and like you really, it's the sound because it's so close to you as well. Like it just feels so good. And, like, it was really, it really surprised me how like, wow, that feels awesome. Just playing Happy Birthday or little Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or whatever. But when you don't, when it's not like, you're like, wow, that felt good. Like,
it's like it's like a feeling that you're in control of a certain sound.
Yeah,
and you can take people if you're doing it live, and you can take people with you in the same sound, and people. If people like on stage, when people respond to that, it's really thrilling. So, it's just the performing aspect.
And for sure, it seems really magical to everybody I know right now, especially because it's early days with Syntablism. So I know when everybody sees it, everybody's just like, their mouths are open. When I've streamed Luigi stuff, the comments are like, what the? So I tried, the last time I streamed him, I was like, now walk us through, show us what every little thing, here's the thing, and here's where it comes in, and this changes into this signal, and I walked everybody through it. But everybody's like, what the hell? Like everybody wants to touch it, everyone wants to know what's going on. Why all the wires? Where all those wires going to, and all that stuff. Yeah, that's good stuff, man.
It's it probably keep me busy for the next 20 years. this whole Syntablism stuff, and
Yeah, nice.
Looking forward.
Guess that's a good way to go at the end. We kind of hit up to now. So yeah, I look forward to seeing your set today. I'm going to try to stream everything as long as the internet is complying, but I'm sure we'll record everything too for everybody.
Cool.
Nice one, man.
Looking forward.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Cheers.